Two YouTube stars hid in the closet of their Austin, Texas home last month after an obsessive fan broke into their home with a shotgun, according to local reports. This, for me, is one of the craziest stories I have ever read that has an attachment with YouTube. It hits very close to home, as it's really not too long ago since Christina Grimmie, who was also a YouTuber and musician, was shot dead by an obsessed fan at a concert. And the fact that this was minutes away from happening again, especially with this story, is something that is hard as a YouTuber, as somebody who knows and has friends who are YouTubers. It's weird and very hard to take in or read. YouTuber Gavin of Slow Mo Guys and Meg Turney, who formerly was a host of SourceFed that I used to watch. Just two YouTubers with one crazy mental fan who decided to break in their home and have them actually hide in their closet so that they could avoid this man who had a shotgun. So his intentions were pretty clear. He wasn't a fan of Gavin. No, he came in because he wanted Meg Turney for himself. In fact, I'm pretty sure the police found a message that he left behind where he said that one of the reasons why he did it is because he wanted Gavin to die alone with no children. Number one, he was with Meg Turney, so he wouldn't have died alone, so you actually would have failed that one. The guy was shot dead. Long story short, police shot him dead, so he's not going to be coming around anytime soon, haunting people. I know it's not a fun story, but it's a story that I wanted to touch on and just shed a few experiences that I've had YouTube-wise and just kind of discuss this as a thing that happens, because it is happening, as proven here. Privacy on YouTube has always been a really weird one, because a YouTuber is most definitely not seen as an A-list celebrity, and I'm not saying that they should be, but a YouTuber is seen as me and you. That's the appeal of a YouTuber, is that the YouTuber is a person just like us, who lives and breathes and walks around as a perfectly normal bloke. But I feel like that layer of lack of separation can get people to be almost a bit too inclined to believe that they are best mates with these people, to believe that they are entitled to a level of friendship because there is a more personal connection. It's just me, you, and there is a camera, and then editing, and then the internet separating us. But at the end of the day, there's really not that much there. It's a lot easier to get to meet your favourite YouTuber than it is to meet your favourite movie star. And there have been plenty of stories in the last few years of YouTubers being given food that has had items in like razor blades. Plenty of stories of YouTubers having people come into their house. I mean, as much as people don't like Logan Paul, his house was recently broken into by a guy. The Sidemen have had many issues with people scouting out their apartment areas or their houses and knocking on their door. People turning up thinking they could just get autographs. Now, not everybody's trying to assassinate their favourite YouTuber, but the point is that a lot of people do push those boundaries, and after an event like this happening, people are going to take that form of privacy invasion very, very seriously if they weren't doing it before. Personally, I've never had anybody come to my house, nor have I had anybody send anything to my house, but plenty of people have threatened to, have tried their best to try and find where I'm living, and it's a weird experience. It's very, very odd. The closest one for me is when I was at VidCon, and a bunch of people came back to the Airbnb I was in, and I just got back in. I was sharing it with multiple other YouTubers, and I walked in, I was like, oh, who are you? And they went, oh, we're fans. That really didn't sit well. I've gone to LA for an event to meet people. I've been tweeting my location actively, but my space of living, that's a no-go zone. It's a very odd experience, having people interested in you, and it's flattering. And I feel like whenever you talk about wanting your privacy, some people take that as you going, please leave me alone, which obviously isn't the case, because most YouTubers love their fans enough to go and actually visit them, which is something that I do actively. In fact, I'm going to Insomnia 62 in 40 days, where I'm going to be meeting people for about 4 days straight, and it's going to be great. But I think that one of the weirdest things for me is having security there, which was an odd experience, but after all these stories, I totally understand it. And getting back onto that, some people were really kind and would bake me stuff, would give me food, would ask if I wanted something, and it was lovely and all, but after reading so many horror stories, I just couldn't touch it. And I appreciate the gesture, and it's cool and all, but it's one of those things that after everything that's happening around the sphere, it's something that I just physically can't really accept. Just like any celebrity, there are people who become obsessed with people, and it happens all the time. If you go on websites like Tumblr, as much as I love to joke around with it, and I do love the fact there are a lot of supportive people on there are some people who are mental. They are insane. And that is not up for debate. There are some crazy, crazy people who are on the internet because they're just people. And a few of them are mental. And some people become obsessed, like this guy did with Meg Turney. Obsessed to the point where he wanted to kill her boyfriend. And there are people who are obsessed on much more minor levels, where they will just be over the top interested in you to the point where they try and find out who your family are, or they come to your house and knock on the door. And then there are smaller levels, where people come to me asking for advice, which is one that happens quite a lot. I have a Facebook Messenger, and people like to message it a lot, even though I don't use Facebook, and honestly, nobody does. Well, people try and use me as an advice helpline, but I'm not. I'm just a normal bloke. And it's very, very odd being seen as somebody who people want to go to for help for personal problems, because I am not a professional, nor do I know what I'm talking about, and I'm scared that if people come to me for help and I see it and maybe don't respond out of pure fear, that I may be blamed or made responsible by this person for not helping. And that's just not okay to do to anybody, especially not a stranger, which is what a YouTuber is at the end of the day. It's just a bloke with a DSLR. And all of these stories are becoming so frequent now, to the point where there are guns being pointed at people. There are people breaking into people's houses. There are people trying to sabotage YouTubers at events so they could have an effect on their life, which is what one girl said when she put razor blades in somebody's cookies. Bottom line is, just people. Just people with cameras. I thought I'd just chime in with my personal experience. I really hope that Gavin Free and Meg Turney are okay, and that they're doing well, and that there is more in place to be able to hopefully stop stuff like this happening more frequently, although you can't really stop a crazy person. Just keep in mind that we're all just random blokes. Peace out, people. Have a good day.